Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 15th of August. Now it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my second update for a day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There are quite a few very significant developments and news that I'd like to share with you for this moment, and I will start with a short summary of the situation on the front line, and simultaneously I will share with you main points from today's briefing of Russian Defense Ministry. So according to Russian militaries, in Zaporozhye sector, Ukrainian side was continuing its attempt to establish control over the settlement of Rabotina, and there were many local-scale offensives from Ukrainian side, and as a result of fierce battles in this area, Ukrainian forces lost up to 200 military personnel, 5 tanks, 6 armored personnel carriers, 2 armored infantry vehicles, 2 motor vehicles, and 2 Stab B howitzers. We did not see such numbers when it comes to Ukrainian losses in this sector, in Zaporozhye sector, for quite a few days now, but it seems like Zelensky and his associates want to establish control over this settlement, whatever the cost, and they are sending more and more reserves in this direction to continue this push, this local scale offensive operations. And during the day we were receiving different news from different sources about current situation around Rabotina. Some reports are indicating that Ukrainian forces did manage to establish control of the northern and the central parts of this village. Other reports are indicating that entire settlement is still under Russian control. It's hard to tell exact situation right now, so I will call this settlement as disputed between the sides, because it's quite high probability that Ukrainian forces did, after so many weeks of constant these local scale offensives in this direction, did manage to establish at least partial control over their northern and maybe even central parts of the settlement. But during the day and night, probably we will learn some more information, and I will report about it on my Telegram page and of course in my tomorrow's first update. Let's continue now, and next sector of the front that Russian Defense Ministry is reported about is Kupiansk direction. According to Russian militaries, during the local scale clashes in Kupiansk direction, which is northern sector here, by the way, in Kharkov region, Ukrainian forces lost up to 100 servicemen, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 3 pickup trucks, 1 US-made M777 artillery system, and 1 Polish manufactured Krab howitzer, and also Gwozdika self-prepared artillery system, 2 Slovakian Susana, 2 self-prepared howitzer, 1 D20 gun, and 1 US manufactured ANTPQ-50 counter battery radar station. As you can see, it's quite a significant intensification on the Kupiansk direction, especially when it comes to artillery duels between the sides. And if we take into account how many artillery systems were destroyed on the Ukrainian side, I guess Russian artillerists were quite successful. But yet again, during the local scale clashes, which is also taking place in this area, especially in and around settlement of Sinkovka, and in this forest belt, on forested area, Ukrainian forces did lost up to 100 military personnel. As I did say quite a few times before in my updates, initiative in these sectors, in the northern sectors of the front line, is in Russian hands, and many military experts are reporting these days that Russian forces are quite ready to conduct large-scale offensive operation in direction of Kupiansk, in direction of many other areas of the northern sectors, and it all depends on Russian Defense Ministry and when they will greenlight such an offensive, which may take place even before end of this summer. Let's continue now, and next is Donetsk direction, according to which is always very active, and according to Russian Defense Ministry, during the fierce battles, local scale battles in previous 24 hours, Ukrainian forces lost up to 230 servicemen, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, 2 pickup trucks, 6 motor vehicles, also US manufactured M109 Paladin artillery system or howitzer, and also Akatsiya self-propelled artillery system, as well as D20 howitzers. So severe, quite fierce battles are taking place in these sectors in Donetsk direction. And when we're talking about Donetsk direction, in the southern part of Donetsk sector, we have 3 main hotspots, Marinka, traditionally Marinka, Krasnogorovka and Avdiivka directions. And when it comes to northern sector of northern direction of Donetsk sector, it's mainly, of course, Bakhmut and its flanks, northern and southern flanks. We did not see any breakthrough from any one side, but artillery duels between the sides are intensifying day by day, and Russian forces, because initiative was on Russian side, we do receive reports on a daily basis that Russian forces are trying to improve their positions all along the front line, especially in direction of Krasnogorovka lately and in direction of Avdiivka. But overall situation is a deadlock, at least for this moment, and no one side can claim any breakthrough. That's the situation for today. And let's continue. Krasny Liman direction is next, which is the northern sector, by the way. This area here, north side of Seversk, and according to Russian Defense Ministry, as a result of artillery duels and local scale battles between the sides, Ukrainian forces lost up to 80 military personnel, 3 armored fighting vehicle, 2 pickup truck, and 1 D30 howitzer. So even though maybe we can call situation on this direction, on Krasny Liman direction, relatively calm, some local scale battles still taking place and artillery duels between the sides, and initiative, by the way, in this area also in Russian side. It's only a matter of time, I believe, when Russian forces will become significantly active in this area also, especially when it comes to Belogorovka, Yampol Liman and Seversk. Let me continue now, and next is South Donetsk direction, which is on this land bridge between Crimea and mainland Russia. And the main hot point, of course, it's Vremevsky ledge or salient in this area. And according to Russian Defense Ministry, as a result of fierce clashes between the sides in this sector of the front, Ukrainian forces lost up to 200 military personnel, 4 armored fighting vehicle, 3 motor vehicle, 1 Strela 10 surface-to-air missile system, 1 Stab B howitzer, 1 US manufactured AN-TPQ-37 counter-battery radar system. Quite fierce battles are taking place in this area, and Russian Defense Ministry's report is basically confirming this. And of course, main hotspots are Staromayorskaya and the Urozhaynaya settlements. And by the way, this afternoon we did begin receiving reports, and I did share information about it on my Telegram page also, that it looks like Russian forces did withdraw from Urozhaynaya, and right now this settlement partially controlled by Ukrainian forces, partially in a gray zone. Well, it was expected. I did spoke about such a possibility quite a few times before, because Russian doctrine or Russian strategy of mobile warfare did give a possibility to Russian officers, high-ranking officers, to withdraw forces from any one position when defense of that position requires extreme level of casualties. And well, seems like Urozhaina become undefendable, and Russian forces made decision to withdraw. Who knows, maybe during the night time Russian forces will conduct counteroffensive to establish control over this settlement, but right now I guess we would not be mistaken if we will say that Urozhaina is partially under control of Ukrainian forces, northern parts of the settlement, let's say, and the rest of the settlement is in a gray zone when no one side has true control over the territory. I guess once Ukrainian forces will receive reinforcement, they will continue offensive operation, and well, next hotspot gonna be Zavitne Pajanoe settlement. I don't even know how to pronounce this settlement properly, but anyway, this settlement gonna be, I guess, next direction of Ukrainian this local scale offensive. And let's continue. Next gonna be Kherson region, Kherson sector of the front, and by the way, according to Russian Defense Ministry, as a result of artillery duels between the sides, local scale recon operations, and drone strikes, Ukrainian forces lost up to 35 servicemen, 3 motor vehicles, 1 US made M777 artillery system, 1 Polish made Krab self-prepared artillery system, as well as 1 D-20 howitzer. So as I said, it's mainly artillery duels between the sides, and I guess Russian artillerymen were much more successful in these duels, and they did manage to take out 3 Ukrainian artillery system. And this is it for a short summary of the situation on the front line. Main difference from morning's update when it comes to front is, of course, Zaporozhye did happen on Zaporozhye and Sovdanetsk sectors, where we can say now that Ukrainian forces managed to establish control over the Urozhaina, at least partial control, and also there are high probability that Ukrainian forces also did manage to enter and establish partial control, at least over the northern sectors of this settlement, maybe even central parts of Rabotino. As I said, during this evening and during the night, we will probably receive some more additional reports from front line, and I will report about it on Telegram and in my tomorrow's first update. Now let's talk about some other news, and let me check how long is this video. So RIA Novosti is reporting based on Russian Defense Ministry that during the previous night's massive missile and drone strikes that was conducted by Russian forces on Ukraine's military and logistical infrastructure, all the targets were destroyed according to Russian Defense Ministry, and the main goal for this strike was to take out manufacturing capacities of Ukraine's military industrial complex. I guess main targets were, even though there is no specification in this report, I guess main goal for the strike was to destroy manufacturing plants that were one way or another involved in building these long-range drones that Ukraine does use quite often to strike deep inside Russian territory. Its name is Bobr or something like that. And possibly simultaneously was struck manufacturing plants that are involved in modernization of S-200 surface-to-air missiles in order to be used as a short-range ballistic missile. And by the way, as we know, during the previous weeks and even months, we did see many instances when Ukrainian forces were using modernized S-200 missiles to strike not just Crimean Bridge, but also some other targets on the ground in Crimea and some other regions of Russia. According to Russian Defense Ministry, yesterday's strike was successful, even though we don't have any specification when it comes to numbers or exact facilities against exact companies of Ukraine's military-industrial complex that was targeted. Let me continue now. And TASS news agency is reporting yet again, based on Russian Defense Ministry, that Russian air defense systems did manage to, first time since France deploy or deliver to Zelensky and his associates Scalp long-range cruise missile. These missiles were destroyed or shut down first time, and according to this report, during the previous 24 hours, Russian Defense Ministry shut down not one or two, but 4 Scalp cruise missiles. Well, it's very unfortunate that France made decision to deliver this very serious weapon to Zelensky and his associates. But as you can see, Russian air defense systems are quite capable to destroy not just Storm Shadow cruise missiles, but also Scalp cruise missiles. That is almost exact copy of Storm Shadow with minor differences. Let me continue. And RIA Novosti is reporting that today Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu did made several statements during his speech on Moscow's conference about international security. And according to, I did share main topics of his statements on my Telegram channel. You can check if you are interested in details, but I will share with you one of the major topics in his statement, according to which Ukraine is losing its military potential, or almost lost its military potential to continue military operations. We can take with pinch of salt this statement, because well, if Ukrainian side did lost all its military potential, then what was Russian Defense Ministry or Russian military targeting yesterday during that massive missile and drone strike? They were targeting exactly these manufacturing capacities of Zelensky and his associates that are involved in production of military equipment or modernization of military equipment. But in some sense, Shoigu is of course correct, because majority, let's say vast majority of Ukrainian military industrial complex companies in Ukraine's military industrial complex are destroyed. Significant number of military equipment of Ukrainian armed forces are destroyed. Also, even by Western military experts, Ukrainian side did lost from 300,000 to 400,000 soldiers, KIA, by the way, which is unbelievable number. If 300,000 to 400,000 are KIA killed in action, then just imagine how many thousands are wounded. Probably more than 1 million soldiers have been wounded during this military confrontation. And well, I will say yes, Ukrainian side, Zelensky and his associates, they are losing capacity to continue this battle, but seems like because Zelensky has some strategic reserves, and because they are constantly receiving additional weapons and money, Zelensky and his associates, they are still able to forcefully mobilize tens of thousands of people and send them on the front line and give them some weapons. So, well, even though I myself did predict quite a few times that Ukrainian armed forces are on the verge of collapse, maybe I was mistaken, and maybe Shoigu is mistaken also, because, well, as we can see, Ukrainian forces still are capable, and they even conducting, yes, with the heavy casualties, but they're still able to conduct these local scale offensives in direction of Zaporozhye and Donetsk sectors of the front lines. So even though I want to be optimistic, and think that in next few days or few weeks this conflict will end and Ukrainian army will lay down arms because they don't have any more capacities to continue this fight. Unfortunately, it did not seem like that, at least for now. Once Russian side will conduct a large-scale offensive operation, and once Russian side will achieve decisive victory, one or two decisive victories, then probably, yes, we will definitely close in to the point when Ukrainian army will begin to lay down arms and collapse, or stop fighting for Zelensky and his associates and their Western masters. But anyway, let's continue. And RIA Novosti is reporting that in Patriot Park, which is in Moscow, I believe, some trophies were deployed, and RIA Novosti did report about it, and I did share, by the way, this information on my Telegram also. You can check that if you are interested in details. And in this exhibition of trophies, there are many military equipment of NATO states, including this, for example, French wheeled light tank. Also this, I don't even know what this is, British transport, armored car, armored personal carrier. This is also British, some type of personal carrier, quite old one, I guess, but that's what United Kingdom did deliver to Zelensky and his associates. Also this car here, this one, this is Swedish SV90 armored personal carrier. This is armored infantry vehicle from Finland, and some more. Well, as many of us did predicted, well, this military equipment that was delivered to Zelensky and his associates by NATO member states, well, we did say that they will eventually end up in exhibitions of trophies, and well, that's exactly what is happening. And I believe these exhibitions will become more and more rich with the military, with the trophies, because well, it's only a matter of time when British Challenger 2s will end up in Russian hands, and also Abrams main battle tanks, if US will deliver those tanks to Zelensky and his associates in September, as they did promise to give. But anyway, let's continue. By the way, residents of Moscow and guests of the Russian capital can go and see this exhibition if they want to. Let's continue. And RT is reporting that, well, Ron Paul, congressman retired congressman did made quite a few statements about Biden and his policies, and he said that Ukraine matters to Biden more than Hawaii, which is probably true. True. I did see almost similar statements from many members of our community from USA. They are very upset that Biden's administration did not pay enough attention to dramatic situation in Hawaii, where locals and emergency services are desperately fighting these wildfires. And at the very same time, Biden's administration is asking for lawmakers, U.S. lawmakers, for additional $24 billion for Ukraine. I mean, how crazy is this? I mean, you tell me. It's unbelievable. So I guess vast majority of well-informed U.S. citizens will probably support this statement of former retired U.S. congressman. Let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that, by the way, presidential nominee Robert Kennedy Jr. did made a quite serious statement that he is receiving some death threats, which is very, very unfortunate, especially if you take in account family of Kennedy history and well, let's hope U.S. Secret Services are taking seriously this kind of threats, and will make sure that presidential nominee is safe and secure, because well, it will be tragedy for U.S. and of course for Kennedy family, Kennedy clan, if I may say this way, if one more person from this family will become how you say, жертва, victim of extremists and radicals and so on. Even though in my opinion in former US President Kennedy and his brother was assassinated with the involvement of CIA. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that this is correct opinion, but I believe CIA and US military industrial complex and Pentagon was involved in that criminal act significantly. Let's continue now. And well, RT is reporting that Poland is extending its ban on imports of Ukrainian grain, and President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, did make a statement about it and said that first of all, Poland has to protect its own domestic market, and therefore Ukrainian grain and Ukrainian agricultural produce basically is not really welcomed in Poland. And I guess very same position will have every other Eastern European state. In this case, it's hard to disagree with Duda. Really, he does make some crazy statements time to time, but this time, I mean, of course, Polish government has to think first of all about its own citizens and protect its own farmers. It's quite obvious. And by the way, tensions between, probably we all noticed that lately tensions between Kiev and Warsaw are becoming to intensify or increase. And in my reading of this picture, we do have quite a good indications already that giving us opportunity to say that it's only a matter of time when Warsaw will significantly distance itself from Kiev regime, and this will be done right before Polish forces will be sent to western regions of Ukraine. And we do see beginning of that process, in my opinion. All these latest deployments of Polish armed forces to its eastern borders are definitely part of this preparation to enter western regions of Ukraine. Okay, let's continue. How long is this video? Oh, it's 30 minutes already. Well, I will go just through headlines. And well, RT is reporting that unemployment in UK, United Kingdom, did hit a 2-year high, which is unfortunate. Of course. But when it comes to percentage point, it's only 4.2% unemployment rate, which is not that bad of number, not that bad of a situation. I believe UK's economy will recover. They have, after all, UK does have its own sources of energy, and well, I guess UK's economy will recover. But a major problem for United Kingdom, as I understand, is not unemployment right now, but high level of inflation. If London will manage to tackle inflation, then, well, I guess with unemployment they will deal with much more ease. And by the way, I guess economical situation in UK right now are probably better than in any other European state. And I would not be surprised if in next 3 to 5 years UK will become a major European economy, and Germany will lose its position as a number one economy. Let me continue. And RT is reporting that majority of this is quite interesting. Russian MP, one of the Russian MPs, did made statement. Head of State Duma's Financial Markets Committee, Anatoly Aksakov, did make statement that majority of Russians don't really care about ruble's exchange rate. Well, I can understand that officials do want to calm down society, and these type of statements are oriented on that to calm people. But same time, I mean, this is too strong a statement, really. I don't think vast majority of Russian society don't pays attention to exchange rate or don't care. People do care about it, because majority do understand that once ruble, whenever your ruble fails significantly, inflation does rises. So I disagree, of course, with this statement of Russian MP, but yet again, I can understand why not just this person, but also some other officials are coming with such a statement. They won't just calm situation down, because lately Russian ruble is in significant turbulence. We all know that. And by the way, to continue this topic, RT also is reporting that Russian Central Bank today did made an announcement about major interest rate hike. And well, it's definitely a major one, because Bank of Russia raised interest rates by 350 basis points up to 12% from 8.5. This is of course significant rise, but yet again, initially once this information become available to public, Russian ruble gained some strength, and the exchange rate was 95 to $1. But then ruble start losing positions again, and right now I believe ruble is about 97, 98 for a dollar. And by the way, central bank also did stated official exchange rate for tomorrow, which will be 97.42 rubles for $1. Well, 34 minutes. Okay, just a couple of minutes and I will end this update. And well, To be honest, I don't think this hike in interest rates will significantly influence situation when it comes to ruble's decline. Of course, it will have some impact, undoubtedly. Banks will also raise interest rates. Credits will become less available, and well, significant number of people will refuse to purchase some products and take credit or loan from the banks because of high interest rates, and eventually it will influence situation on financial market, of course. But same time, as I mentioned in my previous update, I think very big number of rubles did enter Russian market in last 12 to 18 months. Very big number of rubles. Same time, Russian income in foreign currency is declining because of this sanction war, and well, because of it, I guess market will need some time to balance situation, and I'm quite sure before end of this year, ruble will find its new proper level, and it may be around 110, 120, or maybe a little bit more, or significantly more, to $1. Well, let's see. Major point is at this moment, how will prices react on this development, because right now you're not gonna feel, if you go to supermarket, you're not gonna see some extreme rise of prices. So inflation right now, it's in normal level, but well, if ruble will continue decline, which will unfortunately happen in my understanding, then inflation may reach double digits, unfortunately, and we have to deal with it. But anyway, we are used to it, man. We are Soviet people, you know. We are from Soviet Union, let's say, and we used to some difficulties, and we will deal with these difficult times also, no doubts about that. Anyway, by the way, I will say, in Russia, even some pro-Kremlin media outlets began to criticize central bank nowadays, and head of central bank Nabiullina. It's a popular topic now to criticize central bank, but I will not do it, because despite so much pressure on Russian economy, despite so many sanctions, Russian economy is doing quite okay, really. Russian economy is withstanding this pressure, and this is done because of the work of central bank, leadership of central bank, finance ministry, Ministry of Economical Development. So I would not rush to criticize economical block of Russian government. I mean, truly, it's easy to criticize, but you know, let's acknowledge that work of these people did allow Russia to withstand this incredible pressure from Western elites. So it's quite an achievement, I will say. And if we have to deal with some difficult times because of this war that Western elites declare on Russia, well, we have to deal with it. That's it. So yes, let me end this update now. I hope you will find it. I hope you will find this video interesting, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary about any topic you like. More topics, more comments and likes definitely influence algorithm and allows me to reach wider audience. And for very same reason, please consider to share links to my videos or my channel with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, or any other platform that you are active on. And if you think this channel or project are informative, useful, interesting, and deserves to exist. Please consider to support with small donations through PayPal, buy me a coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You will see links under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. I wish you a great day and take care.